Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another workout. And today was max effort lower day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click a like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's get over to the training. Honestly, today's workout wasn't really that tough. I'm wanting to work some new movements in, which I've been doing, working on longer range of motion. Some of them are getting easier, even though I bumped the weight. They were not super hard. Other than like my split squats. The split squats were hard with the weight bump. So I decided today to run some heavy bands off of a deep box with the safety bar for a training max. And I think we got up to 403 on the bar plus 100 pounds of band tension off the deep box. And again, you know, that's not super impressive. Not super impressive, other than, again, the safety bar off of a well below parallel box. So again, kind of something I need to get to, a goal that I need to have on this bar. I need to get this bar off of the deep box. I want to get it up to at least 500 because I think that will put me in a good position. And in fact, I think I want to really push this bar more. I know I'm doing a training cycle on the speed work with the cambered bar, but I think for the next couple phases, I'll go back to the safety bar and rotate bands and chains, right? So that I can work with this bar more. I really want to get that up because I feel like with the shoulder health, I might be forced to high bar in competition. And let's be honest here, that safety bar carries over more to the high bar. It really does. And you know, I feel like I can get strong enough to still knock down certain records for masters with a high bar squat if I have to. With a medium stance high bar, I feel like I'm still going to be capable of doing it. I'm just going to have to work really hard. So I do need to think about that eventuality. So deadlifts were tough today. I decided that I want to pull from my weak point, my sticking point, which is about the number 4 pin. That's where I stick on my deadlift. And for those curious, I measured it. The plates are 3 inches off the floor. I am a lot weaker from this position. We know this historically. I lose at least 40 pounds always from this position. Now, I didn't take this one to an all-out max, but I took it close enough. And I think it was 555 is what I pulled from this pin. And I think what I want to do on my deadlift maxes for just a bit, I think I want to do some 4-pin stuff and I'll rotate chains. I might work off the 5-pin also. I'm not sure if the 3-pin works. I'll need to test the next pin down to see if it works and I can make everything fit and there's nothing interfering with it going through. I could work off of these low pins though and maybe do chains and stuff because again, it's getting that explosiveness to follow through. And again, I'm a lot weaker off those pins. A lot weaker than I am off the floor. And we know that historically. So I want to test some maxes there and really get used to accelerating from that spot to get that deadlift max up while I do all my speed work and hypertrophy everything, in spite of the fact that I'm cutting, right? So RDLs, what am I doing? I'm keeping that trend of trying to take it almost to the floor. We're working the long range of motion. I'll be honest, I only bumped 5 pounds on it because this is my second workout trying to go super deep on them. It was too light. I did 12 reps on the last set. I need to bump more than 5 pounds. So I think next workout I might take it up 10 more. So, but I only did 320, and I mean, doing to just below the knee, I've done sets of 10 with 405. And I think ideally, what should I set as a goal to get to this depth, this full range of motion, to where we're almost tapping the floor. Occasionally, I do tap a floor on the rep. You get that deep stretch, and I need to get up to 405 for 10s on that. And I think that's a good benchmark for me to aim for as a long-term goal. And people say, well, why is a long-term? Because that will put me again past the national record level on deadlifts in terms of strength carryover. So that would be a good goal to aim for. So yeah, I need to progress a little harder on this. And so people are wondering why this. I feel like my low back is a weak link, so I'm addressing it. All of my efforts are either direct squat accessory right now, right? Or everything that I'm doing for posterior chain has a low back emphasis. I'm trying to put a heavy emphasis on my low back. So that means a deeper stretch there. You guys will see the way I'm going to do the good mornings. The fact that I'm adding a hyperextension to the glute ham raises. So those are all 3 hamstring exercises, but I'm making them focus on the low back a lot. Now, the other stuff, all the single leg exercises are for squat primary movers. What do we mean? Quads, adductors, glutes. Now, everything is hitting my glutes. So you guys will notice today, too, I pulled glute bridges out. Sometimes I go months without glute bridges, and I come back and my glute bridges stay equally strong. They don't ever get weaker, right? They never get weaker. My glutes get plenty of work. I don't need to focus on them. All these exercises I do are glute exercises. Literally every exercise I do on lower day hits the glutes, and I hit it from so many angles that I don't need to do glute bridges. It's just not necessary. I am getting it from these movements even. Right, so quads, adductors, glutes. My adductors and glutes get more work than my quads, which is fine for squatting. Why? Because we know that the quads are used a hair less. And if people get mad when you say that, look at the research on hypertrophy. Quads do grow a lot from squats. And this is research on Olympic squats, not low bar squats, not power squats. Quads grow a lot from them. Adductors and glutes grow slightly more in the hypertrophy study that looked at it. And we're talking full squats. Okay? So it's fine if my training is biased. You know, some people would say, well, you only have 6 real sets for quads outside of your speed work, if we assume that RDLs and good morning and stuff don't work quads at all, but they do. They do. But all my supplemental work ends up being 12 sets. But I'm also maxing and doing speed work. I do a lot of speed work volume. But in terms of accessory work, yes, technically my quads only get 12 real sets of accessory work per week. But that's plenty, that we're still in our optimal range. Whereas in things like my adductors and glutes get more. Why do we say more? Well, because the RDLs hit adductors super hard. These single leg exercises do. But that ends up being, assuming we're not getting adequate stimulation from the other posterior chain movements, what does that take us to? 9 sets of hard adductor work. And my adductors are lit up every workout right now with the stuff I'm doing. Like I feel them at the end of the workouts. So we know they're getting hard. It gives me 18 sets for adductors a week. They're getting more focus. And that's good because I need those to grow. Right? I need more adductor for my squat. And we need more quad and everything else. We need to get the strength back to where it was at the strongest at my bulk, and I need it to be there when I'm down to 200 pounds. Okay, so we'll need to work off some of that muscle memory, bring all those weak links up. Now the camera angle was a little off on this one. I had to change it over for the next 2 sets. What are we doing here? All right, trying to focus on the longest range of motion and make it really hard on my low back. I am taking these down to the slings to a dead stop. Now look at the range of motion there. I'm going out pretty much until my back is flat while keeping the bar midfoot, because I'm having to push my hips way back to keep that bar midfoot. We're going all the way down. And then coming from a dead stop off the slings. You can do this off pins. It's easier on your body. It doesn't beat you up as much, or the bars as much, to do it off of slings or chains if you have them available. But this is basically the farthest range of motion possible. I pretty much have to adjust my hands to not hit my knees. I have to be careful where I place my elbows and hands and everything so that I'm not hitting my knees with my wrists. So I've got to even keep the elbows flared out or else they're hitting my thighs. All right, it's only 201, right? Which is funny because, I mean, I do almost 300 pounds for sets of 10s with this, but maybe not quite this range of motion. Of course, you guys have seen me do way more on the cambered bar because I'm a lot stronger. But if we look at the moment arms involved, it makes sense that this is going to be harder because look how much work the back has to do. And it still hits hamstrings and glutes. I don't want people to think it doesn't, because it does. Your hamstrings get hit hard doing this still. But look at the back involvement, especially with the long moment arm of the safety bar. This 201 was hard. The first few reps were easy, about the first 3. Then it started getting hard. The last 3 reps on each set, I was questioning if I was going to be able to complete the set. Okay, so this one was hard today. And again, it's humbling. 201 pounds for sets of 10 on the GM is nothing for me. With the cambered bar, I've done 275 for 3 sets of 20. Okay, but the forces involved, it's forcing me to work my back very, very hard all of my erectors, the low back, the mid back, upper back, all of the erectors. Because of the forces involved, they're all being worked extremely hard. This is serious spinal erector involvement. With a lightweight 201 pounds, guys. Again, doing more with less sometimes, right? Making these things work to bring up those weak links and to do so in a way that we can recover from. Because these were hard. They were challenging. I got a lot out of that. I'm actually thinking I might have back DOMs tomorrow. It's going to be real fun for all my rowing. These went a little better today. Sometimes it's getting in my groove. It's keeping the balance, and some of the reps look not so good. But I feel like I'm almost at a point where I can increase the weight on these. I've been using this same weight for a couple weeks because these are hard. I do other leg work first. But I feel like they're improving. I feel like I need another good day of practice. We'll see how it goes after speed day. And if everything goes smooth, then I might try to bump these 2.5 pounds. Again, when you're doing these below parallel depth, because again, I'm below parallel with where I'm at in that start position, they're hard though. Again, challenging exercise, even with a light weight, you know, to step all the way up. And I like these, right? They work my quads pretty hard. They also hit glutes and adductors very hard too. But again, I get a lot of stimulus out of this exercise. And I mean, I've used it before at different points and brought my squat up as one of the tools I've used. But again, you start thinking of the fatigue involved, it's very easy to recover from this movement. We get a lot of stimulus of all the primary movers on the squat, right? We get a lot of stimulus, a low amount of fatigue that we can recover from. And that's the main thing we're looking at, recovery. Because my training volumes are pretty high and I'm in a calorie deficit. And let's keep in mind, I'm sled dragging and stuff now too. So that's kind of the other wild card with the quads. You know, people could say, well, you're doing this, well, but I'm dragging a sled. And my goal is to try to drag my sled at least 3 times every week, weather permitting. I'll do it more some weeks, but I want to get at least 3 sled drag sessions in every week. And you know what? My quads and calves light up from that. So I think what we'll see as I continue to cut, I'm hoping to tap in some of the muscle memory because my quads are smaller now. My quads, because I've got footage to compare. Since I've been cutting, my quads are smaller. I can see it. So I'm hoping to ride the wave off some of that muscle memory by doing all these harder quad movements that I've done in the past. And I hope by adding the sled drags in, we can tap back in, get that muscle memory up, which will be great because it also means I'll burn more calories walking and doing my cardio and stuff if I can bring that quad size back up. Even if it's just transient storage factors, right? Even if it's still holding more glycogen, that will increase my energy turnover. Right? So that's going to be the goal. And I know people are like, you're crazy trying to think you're going to gain muscle or glycogen storage in a cut. You know what? That's okay. It's okay to be crazy. I've got a game plan and I am watching my fatigue management. Okay, we're going to make it work. That 9 hours of sleep every night. My diet, I probably should discuss more of the diet stuff coming up. Trying to optimize all my recovery, gut health, gut flora, micronutrients, everything. I'm basically trying to optimize it without even taking vitamins. Right? That's the goal. Lets me get away with this. And I laughed at that. I saw some clowns posting up, accused me of faking my chronometers. It's like, what? Why? I'm training this hard. I'm doing all this volume. You guys clearly see I'm cutting and losing weight. It's very obvious. Why would I want to fake that? It would be better for me to actually eat those things. I will have better results and recover faster and possibly reduce my chances of injury due to superior nutrition and recovery. It's in my best interest to actually do what I showed. So the level of stupidity of people, this is why I ban so many people. I just can't handle the level of stupid anymore. I just can't. Like, that's literally stupid. Oh, he's something that would help him not get hurt and recover and make more money, but we think he's lying. Well, why wouldn't I just do it? I gotta go to the grocery store to get food no matter what. And it's actually easier. Okay, let's say I'm lazy. Let's say I'm really lazy. I want to do stuff the easy way. Why wouldn't I eat all whole foods? It's easier to lose weight on whole foods. You're less hungry. It requires less willpower. Why wouldn't I take the easy route? Really? It would make more sense to call me lazy. Oh, you're doing it the lazy way. hardcore people eat ice cream and Pop-Tarts all day and just deal with the hunger because of their willpower. I mean, Jesus Christ. Okay, these went better today. These went better today. Again, trying to do a hyperextension on these. I didn't get it as deep on a few of the reps, and they come up. I managed to get 10s on all those today. So we're progressing there. They were so humbling and hard the last time. So they'll go up pretty quick, I think. Same thing, doing the strict, this is my third session doing these, and I forgot to add weight the first set. I stuck with the 180, realized, oh, that was too light. Let me throw 20 more pounds on, and they felt really good. So on the next 2 sets, I focused on that contraction a little more, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on progressing on these while controlling the weight. No swing now, because I've done tons of swinging reps with 500 pounds for sets of 25. And I want to get stronger at squeezing at the top. And that's the main thing. Controlling the eccentric, stopping the swing. And I want to really squeeze my low back and glutes super hard at the top. I want to feel it contract instead of just swinging back down with inertia. And yeah, I have to use a lot less weight. And so I will slowly take these up. Okay. And we'll kind of come back to some of the original West Side numbers based off squat percentages. Like literally doing sets of 10 at 50% of your max squat. Well, if I can do that with these controlled, I'll be in a good place because I feel like my low back needs to work. My low back, I'm seeing some low back weakness relative on some of my lifts. I need to make it stronger. So a lot of this training, you guys see, I'm really trying to focus on my erectors and more. But really happy with today's workout. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.